Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Magic Friday. I'm your host, Jamie D. Grant. Thanks for tuning in. Last week we spoke a little bit at the end of the show about how much to charge, or at least how much I charge for walk around magic. Today we're going to go over it again, but not about walk around. We're going to talk about parlor shows, another aspect of what the heck do you charge. Before we get into that, let's talk about this week's Magic Friday, which is awesome. And actually, I should specify, Magic Friday isn't a review show, because review shows critique, and I don't critique because I only put on Magic Friday good material, because I'm doing this at my day job. I'm not going to go show junk, obviously. And I also have another theory for Magic Friday, which is I don't ever say I don't review a trick that went wrong. Because if a trick went wrong, that's not to say that the trick is bad. I could have been terrible, you know. If I'm doing the thumb trick and like, why should I review the thumb trick saying, oh, the thumb trick sucks, when it was all on me? So Magic Friday is basically just a show of awesomeness. If you see something on Magic Friday, you already know that I love it and that it went well, which is key. So this week was no surprise. It was Pop Haydn, goes by the name of Whit Haydn, but we call him Pop now. Chicago Surprise. I also had the distinct pleasure of having Pop show it to me in person, because he was in Vancouver just a couple weeks ago, and he has to be one of my top 3 favorite performers ever. I just love him. I think everything he does is golden, and Chicago Surprise is no different. Let me show you what the audience sees. My table's in frame. This will be spectator. We'll see how this goes. Sorry for the cut. I've been trying to film what the audience sees, but it's quite difficult without the. It's kind of difficult to show you by myself. So I'm going to describe it because it's too. It's too hard. I've been dropping cards on the floor and I can't. I need a cameraman. Where's my cameraman? I think if you YouTube Pop Haydn Chicago Surprise, you're going to get an idea for what this looks like. You're going to have an audience member select a card. They're going to select a card. They're going to put it back. You're going to say, you know, I've been a magician for quite some time, and to my trained eye, I can actually pick out selected cards. You can see that one card, to me at least, stands out from the rest. I don't know if you can see that. Your card is the, of course, 10 of clubs. Yeah? Now, when they say, yeah, this card actually goes on the floor, so this is going to be out of frame, but 10 of clubs, their card, select the card, goes onto the floor. This is now going to be their hand. You're going to say, but what's even more amazing is before we even started this card trick, I had a card in my pocket this whole time, wherever it's going to be. And it was the card that you freely selected, the 10 of clubs. Thank you. People are going to clap, and you'd be surprised at how strong that first segment is just on its own. Like, that in itself gets people like, what? Like, how did he had it? I had a free selection. It was in his. So you'd be amazed at how strong that is. I then said, well, you know what? That was pretty good, right? Let's try it again. Let's try it again. This time, I will get you to pick any card you like. There's 2 possible scenarios. What's going to happen here? I will show you the scenario that happens to me, which is my spectators pick cards in the most crazy places. So they pick a card, it goes back in. I am now actually going to make your card rise to the top of the deck. It's going to be incredible, just like this. Your card, the Jack of Hearts. This is the classic magician in trouble. No, that wasn't my card. What? Told you weren't going to believe it. But I've got a surprise for you. Guess what that card is? And I'm pointing to the card under the shoe. And people either guess it's going to be their card, or they're going to say that it was the one previous. But no, it's the Jack of Hearts. That wouldn't have been a surprise. And then the card in their hand turns into the 6 of clubs, their card. That did not do it justice. I apologize. I apologize for showing you that, because when in Pop's hands, and in my hands too, it's just hard to film it here. It's the greatest card trick ever. It is fantastic. I know that might have been hard to follow, but there's three distinct phases, and on Magic Friday, oh God, I could just do this trick forever. Really, it's fantastic. I know Pop says in his notes, and there's so much insight on this. There's like a PDF and all sorts. It's worth its weight in gold. In 10 times in gold. That's not a lot of gold. When you show people, you know, the red back card, like, people just laugh. It's just a funny line, you know, like, how did that? It's just such a shock that it's just a great moment. And then when it actually is their card, like, what? The card they picked, and they saw that it was, you know, blue to start, right, is now red. That just doesn't equate how that could happen. So, and then when you have it in your pocket, now how did the card they select get in your pocket? Like, that's incredible. So to do it again, it takes it just to this whole other place, you know. It kind of goes from fun, you know, we're having such a great time, and they still do, but that second phase is just such a head trip. It's just it's an actual what just happened? Because when you say, guess what that card is under your foot, everybody guesses that it was the card they selected the second time. So say they selected the, you know, six of diamonds, you guessed it wrong. You say, what's that card under your foot? Everyone's, you know, oh, six of diamonds, I think it's your card. They think it's that classic. They almost forget about the one that they're holding. So when you lift up the foot and you show them it's the Jack of Hearts, no, that wouldn't be a surprise. It's this whole other... Perform it. Buy the DVD, go out, perform it, and prepare to have the greatest time ever. It is awesome, and it's bomb-proof. That's the other thing is there's no... when you take a look at the DVD or when you watch it and you read the notes, there's a couple of different scenarios, and each one is equally as strong. Like, there's basically two outs that's going to happen, and each one is fantastic. Like, man, it's so good. I know a couple episodes ago I was talking about how I wanted 10 card tricks that didn't use extra cards, gaff decks, and all that, and I only wanted to use straight decks. I will lie to you. Actually, I won't lie to you. I'll tell you the truth. I'm not going to lie to you. I do keep an extra card now in my wallet on the off chance that I go to someone's house and they've got the opposite color deck. I guess really, now that I think about it, I should keep 2 cards in my wallet, both a red and a blue. And if I ever go to someone's house and they ask me to do a card trick, their mind is going to be just shredded to pieces. Like, it's going to be devastation. So it's funny, I don't know why I haven't done this trick my whole life. I wish I had. I only just recently, when Pop showed it to me, and I was just like, that is... I guess something you just have to see, like, to really experience. So I've been doing it at the gigs, and I just did it on Friday, and it's been playing, man, so good. So what the audience saw, my apologies, how it went, we all know. Difficulty, you're gonna have to know some moves, but nothing that you don't know. I believe nothing that you wouldn't know. If you're watching Magic Friday, you know these moves, you're gonna be fine. The difficulty, Angry Bob, I did not see Angry Bob on Friday, so I did not show this to him. I do not have an Angry Bob rating. That said, when Pop showed it to me, I had the first scenario, which I haven't told you about, but it fried me. Yeah, I was like, what? But like I said, either scenario was great. Difficulty, Angry Bob. JDG tip, you know what? My tip for this is read every line that Pop writes. He's got some, you know, you kind of think Chicago Surprise, it's a take on Red Hot Mama or Chicago Opener, but he's got such great insight throughout this whole thing that it really takes it to the next level. I know we're fans of saying that, but it really takes it to the next level, his thoughts. And when you see someone perform it on you, like when Pop performed, it shows that he's put so much thought into this. So my JDG tip is just read every line that he wrote. This basically is not a review this week at all. This is just to go buy it and have fun with it. That's it. I don't even have any closing thoughts to add to that, really. It's just a great trick. At the beginning of the show, I was going to talk about parlor magic, what to charge. I just had my last show of the season last night, so I can breathe a sigh of relief. We were talking about how rent is what I base my walk-around magic on. 1 month's rent in your city. This is all going to have to go into my book because we're going to talk about this for days, and I promised myself I wouldn't go above 10 minutes today. But very quickly, for parlor magic, so I'm talking not a Vegas show with 300 people, but my stage show. Okay, I do walk-around magic, which we all know, 1 hour to 2 hours. I never do 3 or half an hour. It's always 1 hour, 2 hours. My stage show is split into 2 things as well. Stage show for corporations, which is going to be 100 people plus, and then what I call parlor shows, which are families. So, like a family will hire me for last night was their 50th wedding anniversary, or it could be a 40th birthday or a 30th birthday. Even though I say it's parlor and it's family, when you think family, think 5, 10 people. Parlor shows are almost always like 20 to 50, because if they're paying for magician and entertainment, it's going to be a big party. So when I get a quote on an email saying how much you charge for a 30th birthday party, I'm not charging for 2 people. I know that there's going to be, probably 20 or 30, 40 people. So the way I've just done it just for me is I've compared it to movie prices of how much it costs to go to the movie in your town. So here in Vancouver, it's like, I don't know, $15 or something. So I bump it up a little bit because my theory is you're bringing an actual celebrity into your home. You're not going to be able to have Brad Pitt come and act out, Legends of the Fall in your living room. But so I tell people I charge $20 a person. And then, in my email, I'm saying, the price of your average movie here in town. But then I put a minimum and a maximum. So with a minimum of $300, which would be 15 people, and a maximum of $600, not people. So if they bring in more than 30 people, they're basically getting it for free. I do this for a couple reasons. I want more people than just, 30. I don't mind if there's 50 people crammed into your living room because I think it's awesome. And you got to put a cap because if they have 50 people, $1,000. I personally feel, and this is just Vancouver, it's not New York or somewhere super famous, that's kind of the budget families have. That's just something I've personally worked out for over years, is that I don't think families are too likely to spend more than $500 on a party at their home. I know that's going to be different for some other places, but here in town, that's kind of what I put it at. We're going to get into some really interesting things, which is, could I charge more? Yes, maybe. But now we're getting into the situation where only the rich can see magic. So you don't want to eliminate the poor populace of the population, right? You don't want it to be only the super wealthy get the chance to see magic. Like, everyone should be able to enjoy it. But at the same time, you're trying to make money and you want to make your rates as high as possible. And this is just me and my charitable side, is that I don't always want to turn the screws to people and get the max out of them. I want people to experience and see magic in a good light. So I will cut my rates, depending on who it is, or, we're a poor family, and yet, I have no problem dropping price. That said, I never have to drop it below 300, and 300 isn't really great, to be honest. That's not a great fee for a parlor show at all. So I usually try and keep it at $500. Yeah, that's basically what I got. Weddings are the same. People are going to spend money on their weddings, but you got to find out in your neighborhood, your town, what's the most you can get out of people without eliminating the 51%, the 40, I don't follow American politics, the 99%, whatever it is, sorry. I don't want to eliminate those people. So, by the movie, that's how I go. That's how I do it. And it kind of makes sense, I think, to people reading the quote, oh yeah, I'm getting an actual performer in my house, and it's less than it would cost for each one of us to go see a movie, so, including popcorn. Sometimes I do these Magic Fridays, and I wonder, does anyone actually make sense of this? I wonder. You know what? I'm going to write a book. It'll be clear. I promise. Thanks for watching. Bit all over the place today. I will see you next week.